All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a truly fascinating one for you today. We're decoding a concept from Dr. Shad Helmstetter's work that is, quite frankly, a real game changer. We're going to explore how those quiet, continuous little conversations you have in your head all day long are actually secretly running the entire show. We're going to break down the exact mechanics of your inner dialogue, and much more importantly, we'll look at how you can finally take control of it.
To kick things off, let's ask a question that I think absolutely all of us have wrestled with at some point. You set a goal, right? You have this deep desire to achieve it, you map out a solid plan, but then, out of nowhere, it feels like you just smash right into an invisible wall that stops you dead in your tracks. So what's going on there? Why do we self-sabotage when we want something so badly?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the invisible wall. Why desire isn't enough. The source material reveals something that's actually incredibly liberating. The obstacle you keep hitting? It's not a personal failure. It has nothing to do with a lack of willpower, and it certainly isn't about bad luck. The core problem is literally mechanical. You see, our brain is basically a personal supercomputer, and right now, for most of us, it's running on some seriously faulty legacy software. This is a program that was installed a long time ago, and the craziest part is, it was installed mostly without our permission.
Moving right along to Section 2, your faulty operating system. The legacy code we didn't choose.
Now, check out this number to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this issue. 148,000. Just take a second to imagine what a figure like that might actually represent in the context of your own life. Well, according to the research, 148,000 is roughly the number of times you were told no, or told what you specifically couldn't do by the time you reached the age of 18. Think about that. That is 148,000 negative commands. And these weren't just passing comments, you know? These repetitive limitations actually formed the very bedrock, the fundamental foundation of your mental programming.
And honestly, that constant barrage of negativity leads us to another incredibly powerful statistic, 77%. This number sets up what is arguably one of the absolute best metaphors from our source material.
Picture this. Your mind is the onboard computer flying the airplane of your life. Now, if the flight crew got on the intercom right before takeoff and told you that 77% of that computer's programming was completely wrong and that it was actively working against a safe landing, would you get on that plane? No way. You'd be sprinting back to the terminal. And yet, because of that early negative programming we just talked about, that is exactly what we are doing every single day. We're flying a plane that is literally programmed to crash.
Which brings us to Section 3, the positive thinking trap. Why the obvious answer fails.
You know the drill. We've all heard the advice a million times. Hey, just think positive. But if you've ever tried to just smile your way out of a deep-seated bad habit, you know it usually falls totally flat. So why does it fail? If bad programming is the issue, shouldn't happy thoughts be the ultimate cure?
To really understand why it fails, we have to look at this fantastic metaphor. You can't survive in an empty apartment for long. I want you to picture your mind as an apartment. All of your old negative beliefs, thoughts like, I'm not smart enough or things just never work out for me. That is the old beat-up furniture inside your apartment. It's not great, but hey, you're used to it. It's comfortable, it's familiar. So here's the catch. Most positive thinking is focused solely on just getting rid of the negative. You decide you're going to haul all that old mental furniture out to the curb, and for a brief moment, your mind feels clean. But it's also totally empty. You've created a vacuum. Because we crave what is familiar, and because living in an empty mental apartment feels deeply unsettling, you will inevitably go right back outside and drag all that worn-out negative furniture right back in. Simply removing the negative just isn't enough. You have to actively install new positive furniture to fill the space. Trying to fix things by just thinking positive is like trying to fix an engine with a hammer. It just doesn't work.
Let's see how this builds. Section 4. The domino effect. How inner thoughts create outer reality. This right here is the step-by-step blueprint. It's called the self-management sequence, and it operates like a perfect domino effect. It all starts at step 1, your programming. That is literally the words you say to yourself. When you repeat those words, that program hardens into step 2, your beliefs. Those beliefs then color your attitudes, which go on to create your feelings. Those feelings are the actual fuel that drive your actions. And finally, your actions produce your results. Do you see the chain reaction there? If you want to change the final result at the very bottom, you can't just tinker with your actions. You have to trace it all the way back up to the very first domino and change the programming itself.
Moving to Section 5, Upgrading Your Self-Talk, the roadmap to better programming.
Our source material actually breaks all of our internal chatter down into specific levels, giving us a really clear roadmap to follow. Let's start at the bottom. Level 1 is negative acceptance. This is the I can't zone. I'm so clumsy, or I'm just terrible with names. We all live here sometimes, simply stating something bad about ourselves and just accepting it as a fact. This is the language of defeat. Level 2 is slightly better, recognition. This is the I should phase. But let's be honest, should has absolutely no real power to change reality. The real magic begins at level 3, the decision to change. I no longer accept this. But the absolute powerhouse, the mental real estate where we want to permanently live, is level 4, the better you. This is where you state your new reality as if it is already completely true. I am.
All right, now for the fun part. Section 6, Becoming the Programmer, Rewriting the Script.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how to make the swap in real time. You have to catch that old negative program right in the act and deliberately override it. Instead of using weak level 1 code like I can never remember names, you give your brain a direct present tense level 4 command. I have a great memory for names. You are actively bringing in that new furniture.
Now, I know you might be thinking, wait, isn't that just lying to myself if I don't actually have a good memory yet? Well, here is the fundamental truth that makes this entire framework operate. Your brain does not judge. It genuinely, literally does not know the difference between what is objectively real and what you are forcefully telling it is real. It is simply a highly powerful, fiercely loyal servant. Repetition is everything here. It will take whatever blueprints you give it most often and with the most conviction, and it will just go straight to work building that reality.
So for years, you've probably been running on an inherited program that you didn't even choose. But as we've seen today, from this exact moment forward, you are the one sitting at the keyboard. You are the programmer of your own mind. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What is the very first line of old, limiting code you are going to permanently delete today? And what powerful level 4 program are you going to write to take its place? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy programming!